All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes. Next to me is a Jedi Bill, the toxic gunslinger himself.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
And
Welcome to
well,
Western Cinema.
yes. Uh, Today is a special episode. Uh, we are showing two classic public domain westerns. One of them is probably the most well known. It is a film called The Oxbow Incident, starring Henry Fonda and Anthony Quinn. And it's about kind of frontier vigilante justice and how it can go wrong. And after that, we have a Roy Rogers film entitled The Song of Arizona. Which is going to be a nice counterpoint to the other film that we're going to be showing.
Indeed.
All right. Now, these movies, as we said, are now public domain. So, unlike most of the other films that we've shown on this channel, we are now able to show you this movie live. You do not need to go to Cosme, even though we will have that as a backup just in case. But so far as we know, showing these movies will be absolutely no problem. And we're going to be able to show them to you live on the air. And you will be seeing what we will be seeing. You will not need Cosme. And all right.
All right.
Yep.
Wow. Thank you for that, Deleted Scenes.
Thank you.
I see we have Lady Miss, Guardian of the Underground, the Underworld. Welcome. It's always a pleasure to see you, Lady Miss. We have Words and Pictures. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. In evening to you. I'm sure we'll have others joining us.
Right. There's always people lurking behind the scenes. This broadcast is being simulcast both on Bill's channel and mine. So welcome to everyone from both chats. If you're just lurking, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to engage with the chat, just as long as you enjoy the show. And of course, hit the like and share out the streams.
Yeah.
And if you're new to both Bill or mine's channel, and you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe. I'm edging ever closer to 500 subscribers, and I hope to get there by this summer.
Outstanding.
And
we'll hope to get you there within the next 2 or 3 months. Sooner rather than later.
We'll see. Indeed. All right.
Why don't we do a shameless plug for our good friend Gary over at Pop Culture Minefield?
Indeed. This is Gary Kissel's upcoming graphic novel, Vindicated Inc. And we have the most recent trailer up and ready to go.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting med-board process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives, and moreover, how far he is willing to go to weed out crime and corruption. From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior. Vindicated Inc. the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link.
All right, outstanding. I do recommend you, if you guys want to back this great book, go do so. And we get that link in the chat. And hello, Canadian Spider-Man. Always good to see you, my friend. Indeed. Thank you for that, brother. And we get the link for that campaign.
Yes,
You have it
indeed.
there deleted.
I am working to get that up as we speak. Yes.
Okay. Well, all right.
And-
While you're doing
Well,
that, hello, Lady V. While you're doing that, I will get our presentation underway. All right, here comes our first feature. Welcome, Connie. Good to see you. Let us know if you're having any audio issues or picture. See what I can do on my end to fix that.
Dead in a Paiute's grave.
Can everybody hear it and see it pretty good?
So far, so good on my end. Henry Fonda, and of course, Terry Morgan.
That guy's awful slow getting there.
I feel
Yeah,
sorry
from
for him.
the guy from
Always in reach
MASH.
and never able to do anything
Mhm.
about it.
I got a feeling she could do better.
You're boasting. What do you have, whiskey?
What do you got?
Whiskey.
You ever see such a guy? All winter I've been thinking, all he's got's whiskey. That's rotten, ain't it?
Rotten.
2 glasses in a bottle.
Well, what's on you boys' mind?
Something have to be on my mind.
Well, there's mud in your eye.
Friendly cuss, ain't he?
He's just getting around asking if his girl is still in town.
His girl? If you mean Rose Mapin, no. She went to Frisco the first stage out this spring.
That's a lie. She said she'd wait.
It's a fact.
Excellent, Lady Mist.
What a town.
It's my guess the married women run around. Oh, no tar and feathers, no rails. They just righteously made her feel uncomfortable. Not that she ever did anything, but they just couldn't get over being afraid she might.
Say, what does there to do in this town anyway?
Well, unless you want to get in line and woo Drew's daughter.
We don't.
The only other unmarried woman I know is 82, blind, and a Paiute. That leaves you 5 choices. Eat, sleep, drink, play poker, or fight. Well, you can shoot some pool. I got a new table in the back room.
That's just great.
I see Risley's still around.
The sheriff? I thought he never got closer than Reno, except on special calls. Hey, it wouldn't be that rustling folks were talking about last fall. Could be.
Gonna be a kind of touchy subject, huh?
They don't like to talk about it except with fellas they sleep with.
Afraid they'll find out it's somebody they know?
Maybe.
They lose some more this spring?
Some.
How many?
About 600 head.
They got any leads?
They picked up a small herd trail and signs of shod horses down in the south draw.
Wouldn't everybody know if there were strangers around?
Sure. There hasn't been any. Except you two.
That ain't funny.
Now who's touchy?
You're talking about my business. Stick to my pleasures.
No offense, Carter. I just want to let you know where you two stand.
Listen,
Take it easy, Gil. He's had 5 whiskeys and he's sore about Rose Mapin.
keep your mouth shut about Rose, see?
Okay, Gil. I was just joking. You can take a joke, can't you?
Sure, I can take a joke. Some jokes.
Lost any over your way?
This Dragnet prequel's weird.
To account for.
You haven't got any ideas, have you, finally?
Except not to have ideas.
Make that clear.
There are a lot of things around here ain't clear.
You still talking about rustling?
And strangers.
There you go. And there you go.
Looks happy, don't he?
He just needed exercise. Whenever he gets low in spirits or confused in his mind, he doesn't feel right until he's had a fight.
I know folks like that.
Doesn't matter whether he wins
Yeah.
or not. He feels fine again afterwards.
Ain't that guy got there yet?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Holy cow, now I'm gonna have to start all over again.
Somebody's sure in a hurry.
Did Darby use his fist?
Oh, a bottle.
That's all right.
Hey, lay off finally, will you?
Why should I?
Because you hit him pretty hard. You made him look foolish.
Did I really get him?
I thought you busted his neck.
No fool.
Boy, they're no good.
Shot right through the head, I tell you.
What, Harry?
What had happened?
Down in the southeast corner of the valley, about 8 miles from his ranch.
Did you see it?
No, sir, but Olson did. He found him laying in a dry wash in the sun. Shot right through the head.
When?
Well, about 2 o'clock, but he must have been shot a lot earlier because they picked his horse up clear over near the ranch road.
Any cattle missing?
Well, they couldn't tell. There've been so many working that range down there.
Did Olson send you for us?
No, sir, he's in such a big hurry, he just yelled at me to go get the sheriff.
Hey, Jeff.
Rustlers?
Looks that way.
Who was it they got?
Kincaid.
Kincaid. Farley's buddy?
Yeah. They've been working together ever since they were kids. All the way from the Panhandle to Jackson's Hole.
Sure, I knew him. Oh, short, dark Irishman. Didn't say very much. Liked to sing a lot.
These fellas will go a long way to get the guy that killed Larry Kincaid.
Lynching?
I judge.
Crazy. Got plenty of sand, but money. No, wait, Jeff. There's no rush. Even if they have got a 5-hour start, it's a good 500 miles to the first border. Besides, there may be a bunch of them. It won't help Kincaid now to get yourself killed.
That kid Green ain't got no idea which way they went. Better wait till we know what we're doing.
We're all with you about Kincaid. You know that, son. Only we ought to take our time and form this posse right.
So if we go, we're sure to get what we go after.
Okay. Thank you, posse.
Somebody better get the sheriff first thing, and Judge Tyler.
Oh, what do we want with old Tyler and his trials?
Yeah, one good fast job without no legal papers, and that's all there is to it. Remember, this ain't just rustling. It's murder.
Wait a minute, men. Don't let's go off half-cocked and do something we'll be sorry for. We want to act in a reasoned and legitimate manner, not like a lawless mob.
Trouble with you, Davies, you've been storekeeping too long. You don't see no profit in this. Now, if any of you fellas had offered to buy the rope from him...
If we go, you're going with us, fat gut.
Brother, I wouldn't miss it. Only thing to bring me out any faster would be your necktie party. Who knows? Maybe this is yours.
I'll remember that and see you.
Who he
handle the
calling
rope.
fat
Down in
gut?
Texas, where I come from, we just go out and get a man and string him up.
That's right. I say stretch him. Tain't just a rustler we're after. It's a murderer. Larry Kincaid, one of the finest, most God-fearing men that ever lived, is lying out there right now with a bullet hole in his head. If you let this go by, there won't be nothing safe around here. Our cattle, our homes, not even our women folks. I'm with you, Farnley. I'm going to get me a gun and some rope, and I'll be right back. And if nobody else will do it, me and you'll do it ourselves.
Count me in, too.
Come on, boys! Get your guns! Listen to me, men! Hey, don't lose your heads like this! You mustn't do this thing! You must not!
Shut up, Grandma. Nobody expects you to go.
Don't take it so hard, Mr. Davies. You did all you could.
Well, this is the first time since I've been involved with the show that we've been able to do this.
I want you to go
Words
along
and
help
pictures.
explain.
Well, you know how Hart and I stand here. We came in at a bad time.
I've got to stay here and see if I can't stop them till they realize what they're doing. If I can make this thing regular, that's all I ask.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you know Mapes?
The one they call Butch?
Yes. The sheriff's made him deputy for times he's out of town. And we don't want Mapes.
Well, you said I was to be the executioner, so I come all fixed. Think I don't know my business, huh? You don't look very well, Mr. Davies. Maybe you'd better stay home and rest up for the funeral. Maybe you could get the flowers. Boys wouldn't begrudge a few flowers, even for a rustler, so long as he's a good dead one.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm not going, Father.
Yes.
I don't wish any argument.
Words.
Do as I say. Perhaps this will do what I've obviously failed to do. Make a man of you.
This is the first one. I've searched long and hard for a public domain film that we could actually do. And it's like, when I saw this was in the public domain and I double checked and triple checked, it's like, yes, I can show this on Western Cinema.
Scrape your boots, put your hat on your hand, and straighten your wig.
Well,
Why, is the judge at home, ma'am?
yes.
Could we see him?
You got business?
No, we just dropped in for tea.
Very funny.
Mr. Davies sent us, ma'am. It's awfully important.
It's not regular office hours.
That the judge's better half?
His housekeeper. His wife's dead.
Well, you can see why there are times when the judge don't seem to be able to make up his own mind.
Come in. Come in.
He says, come in.
Well, well, Carter. How are things out in your neck of the woods?
All right, I guess, Judge.
You don't
Is that was that the same one from?
Are you? And what can I
Was
do?
she in
We're here for Mr. Davies.
Oh,
The Wizard of
how's my
Oz?
friend Davies?
The lady we
Well,
just
at
seen?
last.
Yes,
Margaret Hamilton?
could we see a lot of
I
minutes?
don't believe
Oh, a matter
so.
of
No.
private nature, eh?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davies said particularly just you and Sheriff Risley.
Risley ain't here. He deputized me.
Where'd the sheriff go?
Down to Kincaid's ranch early this morning.
When'll he be back?
He didn't say. Couple of days, maybe. But anything you can tell him, you can tell me.
Sure, we know that, Butch, but we're here for Mr. Davies. If the judge thinks it's your job, he'll tell you.
Certainly, Mapes, certainly.
All right, but if it's a sheriff's job, call me, see?
Naturally. Well, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
Well, it ain't so much that Mr. Davies don't want him to go. It's just he wants to make sure a posse's sworn in to bring him in for a fair trial.
That's why I wanted you and the sheriff to hurry as quick as you can.
Confound it, man. The sheriff's not here. Today, of all days.
You can talk to him, Judge. They'll listen to you.
No, that's not my job. I haven't any police authority. Where are you going, Mapes?
There's a posse forming, Judge, in case you hadn't heard. That sheriff's work in it.
Well, that's no posse. That's a lawless lynching mob.
It'll be a posse when I get there. I'm gonna deputize them all proper.
But you can't do that. Risley's the only one empowered to deputize.
All right, Bill. I
Yeah.
goofed.
Should we tell Davies you're coming, Judge?
The judge's housekeeper, Miss Larch, is played by Margaret Hamilton.
Not mine.
She is not credited for this film.
I thought that might be the same.
Most of the cast
Where were
isn't,
the
actually.
pictures?
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of digging, but yes, that was her.
Right on.
Coming along, Sparks?
No, sir, Miss Smith, I don't
There you have it. Confirmed words and
Come on,
pictures.
Sparks. Ain't every day
Margaret
we have a
Hamilton
hanging at a time
from
and a
The
dead at
Wizard
this
of
one.
Oz.
You won't have to do nothing. All the real work signed up. I just thought we ought to have a reverend along because there's going to be some praying done.
Maybe you're right, Mr. Smith. Maybe somebody ought to go along that feels the way I do.
Davies will loan you his Bible, so all the reading will be done right at the burial.
Thank you, sir, but I knows my text without the book.
They're kidding you, Sparks.
I know, sir. But maybe Mr. Smith's accidentally right. Maybe I ought to go along.
There's an old horse in my shed you can use.
Thank you, sir. I'll go and fetch it.
Yeah! Here comes Ma!
Come on, we're ready to go.
Hi, boys.
How about doing these boys breaking dancing tonight, Ma?
Whoa. Well, boys, what are we waiting for now?
Judge Tyler. Davies asked him to come over.
I understand how it is, men. My old friend Larry Kincaid, one of the finest and
Cut
noblest...
the stumping, Tyler. All we want is your blessing.
Well, of course, you can't flinch from what you believe to be your duty. But certainly you don't want to act hastily, in the same spirit of lawlessness that begot this foul crime.
Judge, before you get ready to act them rustlers, it'll be clear down over the Rio.
One more word out of you, Smith, and I'll have you up for impeding the course of justice.
Judge, you can't impede what don't move anyway.
And you, Jenny Greer, a woman, to lend yourself to this.
Now listen, men. I've just found out that Sheriff Risley's already down at Kincaid. That right, Judge?
Yes, he's been there all morning.
Yes. So you see, probably everything's being attended to right now, legally. All you will get out of it is a long, hard ride. It'll be dark before long and mighty cold. My advice is to come inside, have a drink, let's wait till we hear from the sheriff.
Drinks on the house, but only one round. I'm not filling any bucket bellies.
I'll make
Yeah,
it
only one round.
Stay in town, I can take 6. You don't mind sleeping double.
No, it's not as if you were giving up, boys. It's just good sense.
Marley, come back! I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. You don't have to worry, Jeff. This business is going to be taken care of.
Yeah, I know who's gonna take care of it. Me. I tell you now, whoever shot Larry Kincaid ain't coming back here for you to fuddle with your lawyer's tricks for 6 months. And then be let off because Davies or some other whining old woman claim he ain't bad at heart. Kincaid didn't have 6 months to decide if he wanted to die.
Disbanding, men?
Davies has just about convinced us, Major Tetley.
Of what, Mr. Davies?
Why,
I take it you were acting on the assumption the raiders left for the south drawer.
Why, yes, of course.
They didn't. They went east by Bridges Pass.
That's through the mountains?
Over the old stage road to Pike's Hole.
That's 8,000 feet up.
Approximately.
They'd be crazy to go that way.
Not so crazy, perhaps, Mr. Davies, knowing how crazy it would look to us.
How come you're so sure, Tetley?
Pancho saw them. He was coming back from Pike's and had trouble getting by them in the pass.
See, he not see me, I think. So he was hollow down the hollow, and I drive my horse out of the way. So when at first I think I say hello, and then I think he's funny how to drive the cattle then.
Cattle?
Sure, what do you think I had to get out of this road?
Well, go on.
When I see what marked those cattle, Heck, I'd be very, very quiet.
What kind of marks were they?
Oh, in the throat, 3 little whatchamacallit.
That's Kincaid's mark.
That dirty rat.
Let him get away from us.
How many were there?
40 head.
I mean rustlers.
3. Why were you so long in bringing us this word, Major?
I knew my son would want to go along. He was out on the range.
Major Tetley, you mustn't let this...
Yeah.
This case
No.
will I choose, Davies?
Promise me you'll bring him in for a fair trial.
He's a dandy
I'll
lad.
abide by the majority will.
Tetley, you know what's legal in this case as well as I do. All we ask is a posse to act under a properly constituted officer of the law.
That's where I come in. Risley made me a deputy.
In that case, Mr. Mapes, suppose you deputize the rest of us.
Well, that's not legal. No deputy has the right to deputize.
How about it, boys?
Suits me, Butch. Go ahead and pray.
Mapes, you're violating the law.
Raise your right hands. I hereby solemnly swear that I am duly sworn in as a deputy in the case of the murder of Larry Kincaid, and am willing to abide by the decisions of the majority, so help me God. Say I do. I do.
Tetley, you bring those men in alive, or as I'm justice in this county, you'll pay for it, and every jack man of your gang. Tetley!
You got it? Get my horse. I'm going with them. Then get down to Kincaid's. Get the sheriff.
We'll stop here for a minute, gentlemen, and breathe our horses. Winder, take one man with you. Go up to the top of that ridge and see what you can see.
Doing this in the middle of the night's crazy.
I thought you liked excitement.
I got nothing particular against hanging a murdering rustler. It's just, I don't like doing it in the dark. There's always some crazy fool who loses his head and start hanging everybody in sight.
Us?
Funnier things have happened.
Well, we didn't have to come.
What kind of funny if we hadn't, wouldn't it? Besides, I like to pick my own bosses.
Whether we picked them or not, we sure got them.
That's what I don't like. That's Smith and Bartlett shooting off their mouths. Farnley. And that renegade Tetley. Strutting around his uniform pretending he's so much. He never even saw the South till after the war. And only long enough to marry that kid's mother and get run out of the place by her folks.
I figured there was something fishy about him, dressing up like that.
Sure. What do you suppose to be living in this neck of the woods if he didn't have something to hide?
Come on, let's get out of here before we all freeze to death. Or else give it up.
You'd be the laughing stock of the country if you went home now, just on account of a little cold.
That's right. But I'm telling you, this rope's gonna have to be thawed out before it's fit to use.
Am I coming in a little closer, Mr. Carter?
Oh, come on. I'm finding it kind of lonesome myself.
Powerful cold tonight, ain't it?
I got a blanket if you want it.
Oh, thank you just the same, Mr. Carter, but it takes all my hands to steer on this old horse.
Better have a couple of shots.
I never used it. I sure wish we was well out of this here business.
It's a way of spending time.
It's man taking on himself the vengeance of the Lord.
Think the Lord cares much about what's happening up here tonight?
He marks the sparrow's fall. I seed my own brother lynched, Mr. Carter. I warn't nothing but a little fella. But sometimes now wakes up dreaming about it.
Had he done what they picked him up for?
I don't know. Nobody never did know for sure.
Probably
Well, a couple of shots more was
vigilante,
my soul in the
frontier justice back then.
Darby sure sells rotten liquor. Warms you up, though. Feels like fire creeping in the short grass. I guess I'll just let her spread a little while.
Put out that light, you fool. You want to give us away?
Who to?
Now, chuck that butter. I'll plug you.
You start some. For every hole you make, I'll make two.
Looks like you're going to have a lot of shooting to do, Mr. Farnley.
Listen, something's coming.
Oh.
Fool, stop! Stop it!
Oh, here we go.
What's the matter, Art?
Shot.
Where?
Left shoulder.
You fool, you must be drunk. Nobody but a drunken idiot would drive down the grade in the dark like that.
I thought it was a stick-up.
Oh, if those horses weren't a sight smarter than you, that coach would be at the bottom of the canyon right now.
Rose Mapin.
Well, well, well.
Hello, everybody. This is my husband, Mr. Swanson of San Francisco. And my sister-in-law, Miss Swanson.
Did you just get married, Rose?
Just today.
No wonder you were in such a hurry.
My name is Tetley, sir. And I can quite understand.
That
why
was that a
Mr. Rose is in
hyena
such a hurry
back
to show the
there?
other ladies what can be done in the way of matrimony.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, what's everybody doing up here this time of night?
Why,
Art shot.
What? Bring him over here. Here, let's take a look. Give him a hand there, Meg. Put him down right. Easy with him now, easy. There, forward, there, give him a hand.
Careful now, boys.
Hey, I'm sorry.
The other side there.
Why, you hadn't ought to come barging out like that, in the dark especially. I couldn't tell who it was, and everybody yelling like that.
Shut up.
Yeah, got a bit.
Here, I'm good at this sort of thing.
Look, the women have to watch this.
Go all the way through, Mark? There's room in the stagecoach for you, Art.
Yeah, I better get you on back to Darby's and get some hot food into you.
I'm all right.
Come on, be a good boy. Don't be stubborn.
Yeah, don't be a fool.
Mind your own business. Bring this horse over, will you?
He's wife now and kind of new.
Yeah, looks that way, don't it?
I take it you've had the privilege of knowing Miss Maitland before she became my wife?
That's right.
That possibly you imagined at the time there was some understanding between you?
Yeah, sure.
My wife is a very impulsive woman.
That's what I'm saying.
Needless to say, I'm pleased to regard any friend of my wife as a friend of my own. However, I don't need to remind you that the pleasure of such an acquaintance depends upon the recognition by all parties of the fact that Miss Maitland is now my wife. She must be given a little time to become accustomed to her new responsibilities. As yet, I must confess that I'm jealous of her least attention. You'll forgive me, I know. A bridegroom is prone to be overly susceptible for a time. Later, when we've had time to get accustomed to our new relations, I shall be delighted to welcome you and others of my wife's friends to our home in San Francisco. If it is still her desire.
And that's here.
Until then,
Well, that's superior little.
Looks like Rose has took unto herself a lot of trouble.
Where are we?
The Oxbow.
there they are, gentlemen. I suggest we avoid any shooting or rough work till they've had a chance to tell it their way. Mr. Mapes and I will do the talking.
The one that got Kincaid is mine, don't forget that.
He's yours when we shore. 10 men will go with Mr. Gray and come up from behind. Bartlett, take 6 men and work through those woods back of the cabin. Gerald, you and Farnley and the rest will go with me. Would you like a gun, Mr. Davies?
No, thank you.
Sparks?
Thank you. No, sir, Major Tetley.
As you choose.
Get up. Drop it. Now put up your hands.
Passabe.
It's all right, brother. You will.
Reach for the sky, I said.
Take it easy, mister. Stay where you are and put your hands up.
Gerald, collect the guns.
What do you want? What are you trying to do?
Shut up. We'll tell you when we want you to talk.
This ain't no stick-up, brother. This is a posse, if that means anything to you.
Well, we haven't done anything.
Gerald.
Get him up.
Tie them up.
Get on. Get in.
All right, get in there.
Well, at least you might tell us what we're being held for.
I'd rather you told us.
Well, we must be pretty important, or else awfully dangerous.
It ain't that you're so dangerous, it's just that most of the men ain't never seen a real triple hanging.
A hanging? Well, what have we done? Aren't you even going to tell us what we're accused of?
Rustling. Ever hear of it?
Rustling.
And murder.
Murder.
Mr. Martin, what did we do?
It's all right, Dad. There's some mistake.
Remember me?
He's talking to you, mister.
No, sir. He don't speak English. I got a different notion.
I'll make him talk.
That'll do, Farley.
Listen, you wife had enough of your playing God Almighty. Who picked you for this job, anyhow? We got him, I say, let's swing him before we all freeze to death.
If you're cold, here's the fire. Warm yourself. And I advise you to control your tongue, too. We'll get along better. Who's boss of this outfit?
I am.
And your name?
Donald Martin.
Where you from?
Pike's Hole.
That's a lie.
This gentleman's from Pike's Hole. Would you like to change your story?
I just moved in 3 days ago. I'm on Dave Baker's place up in the North End.
Dave Baker moved out 4 years ago, and the place is a wreck. The barns are all falling down, the sagebrush is sticking up through the porch.
Well, I bought the place from him for $4,000 in Los Angeles last month.
Then, mister, you was robbed.
That may be. Surely it's not so far to Pike's Hole that you can't go over there and find out. My wife's there right now. And my 2 kids.
That's really too bad. Just too bad.
Well, even in this godforsaken country, I've got a right to a trial.
You're getting a trial. The 28 are the only kind of judges murderers and rustlers get in what you call this godforsaken country.
So far, the jury don't like your story.
Well, I'm not going to say another word without a proper hearing.
Suit yourself, son. But this is all the hearing you're likely to get, short of the last judgment.
Have you any cattle up here with you?
Hey, Mr. Martin.
I'm not going to ask you again.
Who brought this gargoyle?
Yes, I have.
How many?
50 head.
Where'd you get them?
From Mr. Kincaid.
That's just what we figured, son.
I'm no rustler, though. I didn't steal them. I bought them and paid hard cash for them. My own cattle were so bad, I didn't want to risk bringing them up. So I sold them out at Salinas. And I had to stock up again. So you can wait, can't you? Till you can see Kincaid? Or ask about me over at Pike's Hole.
That's a good one. He wants us to wait and ask Larry Kincaid.
Gotta hand it to you, Martin. You're a cool one, all right.
You know as well as we do, Kincaid can't tell us anything. He's dead.
Dead?
What do you think we're up here for?
Well, how should I know? He was all right yesterday afternoon. Listen, why don't you stop this farce and take us in if you think we had anything to do with it?
'Cause the law's slow and careless around here sometimes. We're here to see it speeded up.
Who sent you up here?
The sheriff.
That ain't true.
Let's don't get started again. It's getting late.
The sheriff didn't even know we were coming.
I beg your pardon. I should have said the deputy sheriff.
Listen, men. I'm not trying to obstruct justice. But just as this young man says, this is a farce. And it'll be murder if you carry it through. All he's asking is what every man is entitled to. A fair trial. You say you're innocent, Martin, and I, for one, believe you.
Then I guess you're the only one, Arthur.
If there's any justice in your proceedings, Tetley, it would only be after a confession. And they haven't confessed. They say they're innocent, and you haven't proved they're not.
Shut up.
Have you a bill of sale for those cattle?
Well, no, I haven't. But Mr. Kincaid said it'd be all right. I couldn't find him at the ranch house. He was out on the range. He didn't have a bill of sale with him. He said he'd mail it to me.
More?
Yep.
How long you been riding for Kincaid?
6 years.
Ever known him sell any cattle without a bill of sale?
No, can't say that I ever did. Of course, I can't remember every head he sold in 6 years.
But it's customary for him to give a bill of sale.
Yep.
Ever known him sell any cattle after spring roundup? This year and the other year?
I can answer that. I heard him say myself just a couple of days ago. He wouldn't sell a head to nobody this spring.
Well?
I know it looks pretty bad giving a dead man for a witness, but it's the truth. You don't believe me?
Would you in my place?
Well, I'd find out. I'd do a lot of finding out before I'd risk hanging 3 men who might be innocent.
If it were only rustling, maybe, but with murder? No.
What are you trying
Oh,
to do,
shit.
Tetley?
They're tying nooses.
With him?
I would prefer a confession, Martin.
If you got any doubts, Tetley, I say let's call off this party. Take it back to Judge like Davies wants.
This is only slightly any of your business, my friend. Remember that?
Hanging's any man's business that's around.
If your stomach for justice is cooling, Carter, I advise you to leave now before we proceed any further. Otherwise, your interruptions are going to become...
Well, welcome, everyone,
I still don't like it.
to Western
Hanging murders
Cinema
is one thing,
Presents.
But to keep guys you don't know for sure did it, stand around sweating while you shoot your mouth off, that's another.
Take it easy. This ain't our picnic. If you keep on butting in, I got a hunch it might be.
You call this old man Dad. Is he your father?
No.
Speak up, man. You're taking it like a woman.
Keep your chin up. You can only die once, son.
No, he works for me.
I didn't do it. I ain't even got a gun.
And who did?
The Mexican did.
All right, then. Take care, words and pictures.
No. I saw him do it.
Juan couldn't have done anything. I was with him all the time.
Yes, he did, Mr. Martin. He was asleep, and he didn't mean to tell me. But I was awake, and I heard him talking about it.
The old man's feeble-minded. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He invents things. Well, if you've got to go through with this filthy comedy, you can at least let him alone, can't you? Shut up.
Lay off, mates.
First he won't talk. Now he talks too much.
What's his name?
Alva Hardwick.
And the other?
Juan Martinez.
No, it ain't.
Still don't remember me, eh?
I'm talking to you, mister.
I'm sorry.
The devil you don't. Your name's Francisco Morez, and the vigilantes would like to get hold of you. He was a gambler. They want him for murder.
How about that?
I don't know.
Stick together nice, don't they?
Why do you keep asking me all these questions? You don't believe anything I tell you.
There's truth in lies, too, if you can get enough of them. What do you know about the old man?
I don't know. He's in the Army.
Confederate or Union?
I don't know. He's not clear about it himself. Maybe both at different times.
A halfwit in the Army? Attention!
Oh, he's forgotten.
Not that. I'll make a deal with you, Martin. Tell us which of you shot Kincaid, and the other two can wait.
None of us killed anybody.
And that's all, I guess. Bring him along.
You don't mean you're going to do it, really?
You got to wait, I tell you. You got to wait. You got to give it some time. You got to give it some time. You got to listen. We haven't done anything. Throw the other rope up.
Remember, the Mexican's mine.
My kids. One of them is just a baby. Just a little baby, and they haven't got a thing to go on. Nothing.
I've got to write a letter. If you're human at all, you'll give me time to write a letter.
That ain't asking much, Tetley.
They're scared. They're trying to put it off, that's all.
Yeah, do you want Tyler and the sheriff to get here and the job not done?
They won't come in time.
I believe you're right, Mr. Davies. Though I doubt if you want to be. What time is it?
5 minutes after 3.
All right. We don't want to give anyone cause for complaint. With your permission, gentlemen, we'll wait till daylight. Bring him back. That'll give you time, Reverend, to finish your business at leisure.
Sure, and then time to think it over.
I can't ride like this.
Very well, I'm Tyler.
Oiga, viejo, dígales que tengo hambre, que hablan mucho. Que se van a matar, que maten lleno siquiera.
He says he wants to eat. He's much hungry from so much of the talk.
It's Speedy Gonzalez.
Thank you.
Sounds a lot like him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, Ma, fix up a spread for everybody. Can't call it stealing because the time of death there won't be any owners.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
Red River Valley playing in the background.
Sheriff, he's an awful long time getting anywhere.
Suppose he don't get here at all.
That's what I'm thinking.
There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Walk together, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, children, don't you get weary. Walk together, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. Wine to meet your Savior, don't you get weary. Wine to meet your Savior, don't.
I'm not disputing that fact, Mr. Davies. It may be a fine letter. But if it's an honest letter, it's none of my business to read it. And if it isn't, I don't want it.
Is that my letter you're showing?
Yeah.
What right have you got to show my letter?
Don't raise your voice that way, Rustler.
He's right, Smith. I told him I'd keep it for him.
All I asked you to do was make sure it was delivered.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to prove that you were...
It's enough to be hanged by a bunch of bullying outlaws without having your private thoughts handed around to them for a joke.
I said I'm sorry. I was merely trying...
I don't care what you were doing. I didn't write that letter to be passed around. It's none of these murderers' business.
I made no promise, son.
I thought there was one white man among you, but I was wrong. Give me my letter.
I'll see that she gets it.
Oh, I wouldn't have her touch it now.
In that case, give him back the letter.
Your wife ought to hear from you, son. None of us could be as kind and understanding as this letter. She'll want to keep it for your children.
I'm sorry.
Hey, the Max! Run out! He might have a... Better keep it on.
Where's he hit?
The leg.
Here's his gun.
Well, I guess we know now, don't we? Look.
Say, that's Larry Kincaid's gun.
Where do you get this?
Somebody will take this bullet out of my leg, I'll tell you.
Ah, so he speaks American.
And 10 other languages, my dear. But I don't tell anything I don't want to.
Wow.
Yep.
My leg, please. I wish to stand upright when you come to your pleasure. If somebody will lend me a knife, I'll take it out myself.
Don't give no knife. He can throw a knife better than most men can shoot.
Better than any of you, no doubt. But if you're afraid, I promise to give the knife back. Handle first.
I'll do it.
He's very polite, but has no stomach for blood, eh? It was very fine shooting, my friend. You should try again with that one.
Now, where'd you get that gun?
Found it.
Where?
Lying on the road.
You're a liar.
I thought we might find somebody to send it back by.
You're a liar.
And you're a blind fool.
I asked you where you got it.
No sabe.
But that's the truth. He did find it.
Undoubtedly.
Won't you even read it? Is it because you've made up your mind, or because you believe everybody else has, and you're afraid to stand up for what you feel is right?
You heard what Martin said about showing his letter?
Well, what does it matter to the man or his wife who sees this letter if it saves him from hanging? It's a beautiful letter. Read it, and you'll know he's not the kind of man that could steal or kill.
Maybe. But all that kind of argument in the world can't stand up against branded cattle, no bill of sale, and a dead man's gun.
Gentlemen, I suggest we act as a unit, so there can be no question of mistaken reprisals. Mr. Davies, are you willing to abide by a majority decision? Well, how about the rest of you people?
Sure.
You already ruled with me. Everybody who's with Mr. Davies is putting this thing off and turning it over to the courts. Step over there.
Excuse me.
Whoops.
Seven. Not a majority, I believe, Mr. Davies.
Damn, 7's usually a good number in these things.
Any other message you'd like to leave, Martin?
I didn't want to die.
I'd like to make a confession.
I didn't do it.
And about time.
To a priest.
There's no priest here.
This man can hear me and take it to a priest.
All right, get along with it.
I didn't want to.
Bring him along.
That must have been an awfully busy life.
Finally, you, Gabe Hart, and Gerald will whip the horses out.
No, not me.
Any volunteers?
I'll do it. No one else will.
I won't do it.
You'll do it.
I can't.
We'll see to it that you can.
The kid's seen enough already. Why don't you let him alone?
This is not your affair, Carter. Thank you, just the same. I'll have no female boys bearing my name. You'll do your part and say nothing more.
Ew.
What did he say?
I know, priest.
For God's sake, man, at least say whether we'd better wait.
Well, I know, priest. I don't know.
Weren't exactly beating around the bush about that, were they?
No, they weren't.
I'll give you 2 minutes to pray.
Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre. Vénganos a tu reino, hágase tu voluntad así en la tierra como en el cielo. El pan nuestro de cada día, dánoslo hoy. Perdona a nuestros deudores, así como nosotros perdonamos a nuestros. No nos dejes caer en la tentación y líbranos de todos los mal. Amén. Santificado sea tu nombre. Vénganos en tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad así en la tierra como en el cielo. El pan nuestro de cada día, dánoslo hoy. Amén.
Time's up.
Mr. Davis, will you find someone you can trust to look out for my wife and children? You better take some older woman along. It's not going to be easy.
Don't worry, your family will be all right.
My parents are dead, but Miriam's live in Ohio. Kincaid didn't want to sell those cattle, so maybe his wife will buy them back for enough to cover that travel.
Tie them up.
I suppose it's no good telling you again that we're innocent.
No good.
It's not for myself I'm asking.
No good.
Other men with families who had to die for this sort of thing. It's too bad, but it's justice.
Justice? What do you care about justice? You don't even care whether you've got the right men or not. All you know is you've lost something and somebody's got to be punished. I tell you, there's nobody to look out for them. They're in a strange place. Can't you understand that, you butcher?
This is a fine company for a man to die with.
Shut up! You shut up! You shut up! Oh! Careful, careful!
Get him out! Pull that guy out. Come on. Come on, tear him loose, Bob. Don't let him do that.
Stop it! Stop it, you fools!
You stop it.
Keep him there! All right. Put them up.
Area.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Let's put the money on. Please, for God's sake.
Anytime you're ready, Mr. Mapes. Finish him.
You got to go to the Lonesome Valley. You got to go there by yourself. Nobody else can go for you.
Ah, they played that song in
Oh, you got to stand
Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
You got to stand there by yourself. Nobody here can stand for you. You got to stand there by yourself. Oh, you got to ask the Lord forgiveness. You got to ask him for yourself. Nobody else can ask him for you. You got to ask him for yourself. Oh, you got to go to the Lonesome Valley. You got to go there by yourself. Nobody else can go for you. You got to go there by yourself.
Hey there! What's all that shooting about? We got him, Sheriff!
It's all right, Sheriff. Everything's been attended to. What are you talking about?
Kincaid's murderers. We got all three of them.
And we hung him too, Sheriff.
Larry Kincaid's not dead.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
The moment when they just
Larry
realized
Kincaid
they
with the
fucked
doctor in
up.
Pike's Hole. Caught the fellows who shot him, too.
But, Sheriff, they had Larry's cattle down there. They even had his gun.
Give me that badge. Mr. Davies, I know you well enough to know that you didn't have anything to do with this. I'm depending on you to tell me who did. All but 7. God better have mercy on you. You won't get any from me. All right, let's go.
They hung innocent men.
Mm-hmm.
You got no objections, Mr. Davies? I'd like to read Martin's letter now.
It'd be a good idea if a lot of people read it.
You can't undo what's been done.
Nope. They're going to have to deal with the consequences.
If you ask me, that Tepe's the one we ought to lynch.
You're a great one for hanging, ain't you, Smith?
You loved it. That's why you kept them waiting so long. I saw your face. It was the face of a depraved, murderous beast. There are only two things that have ever meant anything to you. Power and cruelty. You can't feel pity. You can't even feel guilt. In your heart, you knew those men were innocent, yet you were cold crazy to see them hanged. To make me watch it. I could have stopped you with a gun just as any other animal can be stopped from killing, but I couldn't do it because I'm a coward. Aren't you glad you made me go, Father? Weren't you proud of me? How does it feel to have begot a weakling, Major Tetley? Does it make you afraid that there may be some weakness in you, too, that other men might discover and whisper about? Open the door, Major. I want to see your face. I want to know how you feel now.
And that's how he felt.
Yeah. And it was then that they realized they fucked up.
Yes.
They're getting up a pot for Martin's wife. Even Mapes chipped in.
I didn't know he was showing his face.
He ain't. He sent it by Sparks. It reminds me I put in $25 apiece for us.
How much they got?
About 500.
Not bad for a husband who don't know any better than to buy cattle in the spring without a bill of sale.
Maybe you ought to read this letter, too.
You know I can't read.
Hey, why don't we ask one of the... Oh, wait.
I'll read it to you. My dear wife, Mr. Davies will tell you what's happening here tonight. He's a good man and has done everything he can for me. I suppose there's some other good men here, too, only they don't seem to realize what they're doing. They're the ones I feel sorry for. Because it'll be over for me in a little while, but they'll have to go on remembering for the rest of their lives. Man just naturally can't take the law into his own hands and hang people without hurting everybody in the world. Because then he's just not breaking one law, but all laws. Law's a lot more than words you put in a book, or judges or lawyers or sheriffs you hire to carry it out. It's everything people ever have found out about justice and what's right and wrong. It's the very conscience of humanity. There can't be any such thing as civilization unless people have a conscience. Because if people touch God anywhere, where is it except through their conscience? And what is anybody's conscience except a little piece of the conscience of all men that ever lived? I guess that's all I've got to say, except kiss the babies for me, and God bless you. Your husband, Donald.
Where are we going?
He said he wanted his wife to get this letter, didn't he? Said there was nobody to look after the kids, didn't he?
And that was Dig. All right. Well, we have our second feature coming up, The Song of Arizona. Would you have anything to say about The Song of Arizona, their deleted scenes?
Right. We have The Song of Arizona. This is a Roy Rogers film. Let me consult the scrolls real quick and see if I can't get us a brief synopsis. Seeing as it is a movie I'm pretty sure most of us haven't heard of. I know I hadn't. Runs, if I remember correctly, a shade under the runtime of the film we just finished. Right, 68 minutes. Gabby's ranch for wayward boys is in financial trouble. One of his boys, Chip, is hiding stolen money sent by his father, the outlaw leader King Blaine. After Blaine is killed, Chip decides to pay off Gabby's debt with this money, but trouble arises when the remaining gang members arrive looking for the loot. So, yeah, we got a bag of stolen money that everybody's trying to get a hold of. So,
all right. Wow.
This is going to be a first watch for me, so you're going to be getting my genuine reaction.
I present to you The Song of Arizona. Just bringing it up right now. Sorry about that high-level audio.
Yeah, it's a little loud.
For hours. No wonder. They cut these cars off on the siding. Look out! Here they come!
Hey there! Stop or I'll shoot!
We didn't do nothing. Honest, we didn't.
You're kind of young to be hopping freights.
We was just on our way to a ranch.
You better come along with me. Take them up with you, boys.
I want to talk to you. It's 7 months since you paid a nickel on that loan. Just how long do you expect me to carry you?
Not very long, I guess.
Well, I'm glad you understand that. I'm a banker, and with me, business is business. I should never have given you the money in the first place.
$25,000 is a lot of money.
You knew it at the time, and about all I've gotten back so far are a lot of promises. Well, the bank doesn't work that way. I'm serving notice on you, Gabby, that if you don't get your payments up, you're going to lose your ranch. Here's a written notice to that effect.
All right, Dolly. I'll see what I can do about it. Excuse me, Dolly.
Remember what I told you.
Don't you know it's against the law to hop a ride on a freight train? You ever been in jail?
No, sir.
It won't do you any good to lie. Oh, hello, Gabby. What happened, Jim? Just caught these kids jumping off a boxcar. Where you boys from?
Texas.
What do your folks know about this?
We ain't got no folks.
That's what they all say. I'm going to... Now, wait a minute, Sheriff. Every boy is entitled to half a chance. They don't look like bad kids to me. I know. There aren't any bad boys. But as far as I'm concerned... What good is it going to do to lock them up like a couple of horse thieves? Give them a chance. Well... How about me taking them out to my ranch? I'll be responsible for them. I don't know, Gabby. Maybe they're running away from something. Well, if they're, they'll be right where you can find them. Haven't you got enough stray kids running around there? Look, they're good boys. All of them. It's doing them more good there than traipsing around the country and ending up in jail. How about it, Jim? All right, Gabby. But I want you to keep an eye on them until I find out if they're wanted. Sure. How'd you like to come out to my ranch, boy?
Oh, swell, mister.
Well, what are we waiting for? Here, take this. Thanks, Jim. Oh, we're having graduation out there this week. Why don't you come out? Roy Rogers is going to be there. Guess that about ends the actual graduation, all except speech making. It's Roy Rogers!
Real singing cowboy.
Roy! You old son of a gun.
How you been, Gabby?
Fine, just fine. Now remember what I told you, boys. Come on, line up. 4 straight lines there. No, get in there. Straighten it up. Come on, 4 straight lines. Straight. That's right.
When the fellow needs a friend, there's the one on whom he can depend at Happenstance Ranch. Happenstance Ranch, and when everything is wrong, there's a friendly hand to help along at Happenstance Ranch. Happenstance Ranch.
There's a place for every guy who is all alone and blue. And you know that do or die.
Do or die.
You'll tell Gabby all this sees you through.
He sees you through, so you needn't have a doubt. 'Cause a welcome mat is always out at Happenstance Ranch. Happenstance Ranch, at dear old Happenstance Ranch.
Hey! Nice going, fellas. Say, we brought along some presents for you. Maybe you better start tearing into them.
You didn't have to do that, Roy.
Sure looks like home, Gabby.
Yep.
Reminds me of old times.
Did you mean what you said about you and the pioneer staying here?
Sure. You're getting a little too old for this business of mothering a flock of kids.
I ain't either. Never felt better or younger in my life.
All right. Take it easy.
Could use a little financial assistance.
You in trouble?
Up to my neck. Bank's calling in my loan in about a week. The whole $25,000.
Well, that's a little bit out of my league, Gabby. With taxes being what they are today.
Mine too, but if I don't get it summers, them kids ain't gonna have no place to live.
Hey, fellas! Where's Gabby? Hey, where's Gabby? Where's Gabby? In the house. Why? What's the matter?
King Blaine's in the barn. We just saw him.
How do you know it's King Blaine? Seen his picture.
Sure, he's a killer, and they're going to hang him when they catch him.
One more crack like that, and I'll give you a bust in the nose.
But, Chip, everybody knows that.
Sure.
You kill more men than...
He's got some
Come on,
stunts to
Jerry,
this
get it.
technique.
Come on.
What's going on here anyway? Chip, what did Gabby tell you about fighting?
Yeah, I know. We was talking about King Blaine. He's out in the barn.
King Blaine, you sure?
Yeah, positive. We saw him. They said it was a killer. They said that they was...
It's all right, Chip. It's all right. You boys better go and get washed up. Lunch is almost ready. Go on, hurry up. You too, Chip. Forget about it, will you? Go on. Blaine, I'm coming in.
All right, Rogers. I got my hands up.
Hello, King.
It's been a long time.
Put him up, Rogers.
I'll get on those windows.
Oh, jeez. What
You can
happened
drop
to
your
check
hands
your
now, all
corners?
What good's this going to do you, King? Why don't you give yourself up?
You underestimate me.
What are you doing here anyway?
I was just passing through and I thought I'd stop and see Chip.
Why don't you leave him alone?
Now, don't get excited. I only want to see him for a minute.
That's all he needs, just to talk to you for a minute, and he'll be right back where he started.
I'm a bad influence, eh? Well, I can't argue that one. I guess maybe I owe Gabby something for taking care of him.
He wouldn't touch a nickel of your kind of money. What he's trying to do for Chip, he's doing for him, not you.
I heard the ranch was kind of on the rocks financially. I could help him out.
I told you...
Forget it. Where is Chip?
He's getting ready for lunch. Look, King, why don't you give the kid a chance? The sheriff's going to catch up with you one of these days.
10 to 1, he never does.
I'll take that bet.
You're on. I'll get Chip in here. I want to talk to him.
I wish you wouldn't, King. He's coming along fine. Gabby's doing a swell job with
He's
him.
my kid. Go get him. We'll be watching you at the window.
Pop? Oh, Pop!
Hiya, kid. You're sure grown.
Why, gee, I'm glad to see you, Pop.
You're glad to see me, eh? That's what the sheriff told me the last time I saw him. Bart, take him outside and keep him covered.
Well, gee, Pop, how'd you happen to come over here?
The sheriff was after me, so I had to duck in here.
The sheriff?
Yeah. I killed a bank guard. Didn't you hear about it? What's the matter? Don't they let you read the papers around here? Your old man's been getting himself a lot of headlines.
For doing what?
Killing people. Robbing banks.
No.
Yeah, I'm getting to be as famous as Jesse James. Well, I should. I've been at it long enough. I've got a lot of guys up to now. You should have seen that bank guard staring at me like he was still alive. Does it scare you?
No, you're just saying that to keep me here. Well, I won't stay, see? I want to go with you.
That's the laugh, that is. All I need is a kid tagging onto my heels. What do you think I dumped you here for in the first place? I got things to do, Chip.
Here comes the posse.
Hey, King, the sheriff just rode in.
Oh, look, kid. You know those packages I've been sending you by mail?
Yeah, I did just what you told me. I didn't open them.
Where'd you put them?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Blaine, we gotta move out of here fast. All right, never mind now. I'll be back. Let's go.
Come on, Chip. Let's go see the sheriff. Hello, Sheriff. Who are you chasing this time?
King Blaine. We almost caught up with him a couple of miles out of town. Seen anything of your father lately, Chip?
Well, how could he see him when you're chasing him all over the country? You better run in and get your lunch, Chip.
Yes, sir.
Well, they were here, weren't they, Roy?
Yes, Sheriff. They just beat it over the hill.
Thanks. We'll get them.
I'll come along with you.
Fine. Come on, boys.
Howdy, Jake.
Hello, Gabby. Just come over to tell you we got Blaine.
What happened?
Well, one of the boys shot him. They took him up to the old Barstow Ranch. He wants to see you, says it's important.
Well, how bad is he?
Well, I think he's dying.
I'll go right over with you.
Hello, Gabby.
How do you feel, King?
Like I just got shot in the head. Gabby, I want you to take care of Chip for me.
Sure. Don't you worry nothing.
I'd like to give you something to help out with your ranch.
Oh, I can't take anything.
It's all right. It's clean money. It's a garage in Kansas City. I'm giving it to you. Sell it and get yourself in the clear.
Well, it ought to go to Chip, not to me.
I've taken care of Chip all right. And his sister, too.
His sister?
Yeah. She works at the Golden Spur Club in Kansas City. Get this to her for me.
We'll take care of everything.
Thanks. Tell Chip.
Tell Chip, Chips ahoy.
He could have been a great guy, Gabby.
Tried to be just now. How are we going to tell Chip?
Well, I think we ought to let it go for a while.
What's it say?
To Edward Thornton, attorney at law. Upon my death, I leave to Gabby Whitaker the property owned by me in Kansas City, known as the Peerless Garage, on 8th Street and Willow Avenue. It is to be sold by Gabby, and the money used to pay off his debt on the Half a Chance Ranch, signed King Blaine.
You think I ought to take it?
Well, Gabby, for once in his life, he was trying to do something decent. I guess even a wrong guy like Blaine has that privilege before he checks out.
Maybe you're right.
Let me handle this for you, Gabby.
I'd sure appreciate it.
I'd kind of like to see Kansas City again anyway.
Yeah.
The garage was completely destroyed by fire.
How is it there was no fire insurance?
As a matter of fact, Mr. Rogers, there was no insurance of any kind. You realize the sort of life this King Blaine led. I handled his affairs here in Kansas City, and I hadn't heard from him in over 3 years. He apparently didn't even know his property had burned down.
Were there any other assets?
Nothing. From what you tell me, he died much as he had lived. No friends, no money, no estate.
Well, anyway, thanks a lot for your trouble, Mr. Thornton.
I'm sorry you had to make the long trip for nothing. It's too bad. Too bad.
The bad part about it is breaking the news to Gabby. Oh, by the way, is there a night spot here in Kansas City called Golden Spur?
The Golden Spur? I should say there is. Matter of fact, I often get a night off, and it's on 12th Street.
I'm told the Texas Rangers can go out and bring in any man with the lasso. Well, I'll try and see. Now, if you're caught, don't hesitate to just come up and participate. And that means to sing a song with me. Why, who can say perhaps you'll be a hit? So when you're caught, just come up and do your bit. Because you're it. Oh, round and around and around goes the lariat. Round and around, I wonder who will be. Around and around and around goes the lariat. Who will sing a song with me? Oh, round and around goes the lariat. Round and around, I wonder who will be.
How is this, sir? This is all right.
Around and around goes the lariat. Who will sing a song with me?
Well, look who we wrote this time. A real cowboy. Look, cowboy, now that you're here, would you sing a song with me? Do you know, did you ever get that feeling in the moonlight?
Sure.
Fine. All right, boys.
Did you ever get that feeling in the moonlight? That wonderful feeling that you want to be kissed? Come on.
You're strolling in the park, the stars so bright above. You'd love to love somebody, but there's nobody there to love. Did you ever get that longing on a June night? that wonderful longing you can never resist. Did you ever get that feeling in the moonlight? That feeling that says you want to be kissed.
Did you ever get that feeling in the moonlight?
That wonderful feeling that you want to be kissed.
You're strolling in the park.
The stars so bright above. You love to love somebody, but there's nobody there to love.
Did you ever get that longing on a June night?
That wonderful longing you can never resist. Did you ever get that feeling in the moonlight? That feeling that says you want to be kissed.
In the moonlight.
That feeling that says you want to be kissed on a June night. That feeling that says you want to be kissed.
Thank you very much, Cowboy. All I can say is you certainly know your way around the song, doesn't he?
Well, thank you, and same to you.
Thank you. And now for being such a good sport. The Golden Spur is presenting you with 6 tickets to our local riding emporium, which I'm sure you can use.
Well, thanks a lot. I have something here for you, too.
All right, everybody, let's dance. You're Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Do you mind if I join you?
Not at all. Won't you sit down?
Thank you. You knew King Blaine?
Yes. We were brought up in the same town. Your father was...
My stepfather.
Oh, I didn't know. First time I knew he had a daughter was when he gave me that letter. You knew he was killed.
Yes. I read about it in the papers.
Was Chip his real son?
When King Blaine's first wife died, he married my mother.
I see. Then Chip is your half-brother.
Yes. Do you know where Chip is?
Yes. He's out at Gabby Whitaker's Half a Chance Ranch.
I haven't seen Chip since he was 3 years old. I never knew exactly what his father had done with him.
Did Blaine ever tell you anything about Chip?
Told me to get in touch with him. And I think I'd better. After all, being brought up by friends of King Blaine's isn't my idea of a healthy environment for a child.
I don't think you understand. He couldn't be in better hands.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Why don't you go out to the Half a Chance and see for yourself?
I'd like to. Where is that ranch?
It's in Lodestone, Arizona. I'm going back tomorrow. I don't suppose you could get away that soon.
Oh, tomorrow? I'm afraid not. I'm a working girl, remember?
Oh, come out when you can.
Not that kind of work,
Thanks,
girl. Don't
Not at
think
all.
it that way.
There he is.
Yeah.
Hello, Chip.
Well, who are you?
You remember us. We've got news about your father.
Oh, my father? Well, is he all right?
Sure, kid. He's fine.
He wants to see you.
Well, where is he?
You know where the old
Jim
Barstow Ranch is?
Henson's Robert
Sure.
Blake
You think you
babies.
can sneak over there tonight without anybody seeing you?
Why, it's a cinch.
You know your father would be in a lot of trouble.
Don't worry, I'll be careful.
Good. We'll see you there a little later tonight then, huh?
Yeah, right.
All right.
Oh, once I was riding the Circle Bar X. I met with a cowboy who called himself Tex. He was over 6 feet and as straight as a rule. And I later found out that his name was O'Toole. Michael O'Leary O'Brien O'Toole was the toughest of cowboys, the fightingest fool. He wore leather breeches and rode a white mule. Michael O'Leary O'Brien O'Toole.
No guns did he carry when trouble arose. His fist he would bury in anyone's nose. He could turn around twice and lay 'em out cool. They all looked alike to Cowboy O'Toole.
Michael O'Leary O'Brien O'Toole was the toughest of cowboys, the fightin'est fool. He wore leather breeches and rode a white mule. Michael O'Leary O'Brien O'Toole.
Some pioneers.
Hello, kid.
What's the idea of putting out all the lights?
Well, you see, we can't take any chances. Come on inside.
Run away!
Where's
Run
Pop?
away!
Well, that's what we wanted to talk to you about. Here, sit down. It's like this, Chip. We didn't want to tell you this afternoon because of all those other kids being around.
Tell me what?
Well, I suppose you gotta know sooner or later. Chip, your old man's dead.
Who did it?
It was Gabby Whitaker. He killed your father.
Liar!
Gabby.
That's why they didn't tell you. They got him cornered and Gabby shot him.
Gabby.
Gabby would
We
not
were with him
do
when he
such a
died.
thing.
He asked us to get hold of you.
What'd he say?
Well, he told us about some money he had stashed away and said you were the only one knew where it was hidden.
You see, kid, part of that money belongs to us.
So if you'll tell us where it is, why, we'll give you your half. It was your old man's share.
I don't believe you. He didn't say that. He just trying to get his money.
Now look, Chip, we were your father's friends. Believe me, we wouldn't lie to you.
I don't know anything about any money.
Now listen to me, you little mutt. You know where that money is and you're gonna tell us.
I tell you, I don't.
You better start talking if you know what's good for you.
Let me out of here.
Chip, you want to get hurt? I'll work on him. Now, wait a minute. Let him think it over for a while. We got all night.
You'll get the depot on time?
Yeah, he wasn't quite awake, but he was there to meet me.
I ain't been up so early since Trigger was born. How about Kansas City? Sell the property?
I'm sorry, Gabby, but I'm afraid we're going to have to get that money someplace else.
Well, what happened?
Well, Blaine's garage burnt down some time ago. Your inheritance went up in smoke.
Didn't he have any insurance?
No, there was nothing left.
How do you like that? Sure sorry I had to go all the way to Kansas City.
Well, that's all right, Gabby.
Oh, how about Chip's sister? Did you see her?
Yes, she'll probably be out here any day now. Where is Chip?
Oh, I suppose he's having breakfast. Oh, Stevie! Stevie! Stevie,
Yes, sir?
have you seen Chip?
No, sir. None of us have. He acted kind of funny yesterday after he talked those two men in the field.
What two men?
I don't know who they were.
What'd they look like, Stevie?
Well, one was kind of tall, with a mustache.
Hey, Gabby. Hey, Gabby. One of the horses gone out of the stable. Run along, Stevie.
Did you tell Chip about his father?
No, I was going to get around to it, but
Well, I think we better go look for him. Get the boy, Shug.
Coming up.
Hello, Sheriff. Seen anything of Chip?
No, we're looking for Blaine's men. I wonder if they'd be suckers enough to go back to the Barstow Ranch.
Well, let's find out.
Just saw the sheriff and his men from the hill. They're riding this way.
Here, you get in the closet and keep your mouth shut.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Give me a gun. Don't look like there's anybody in there.
We'll find out. They're in there all right.
Around the place.
Yeah, they'll pick us off like clay pigeons.
Oh, they won't. Get that kid out of the closet. Come on.
What's he gonna do?
Shut up.
Everybody hold your fire. Get the horses. You all right, Chip?
Yeah, I guess so.
What are you doing up here? Well, what's the matter with you?
Killed my father. And they told me.
Who told you a thing like that?
I don't know who told you, but Gabby didn't have anything to do with it. I'm sorry about your father, Chip, but the sheriff did it, not Gabby.
I don't believe you. I don't believe anybody.
I'll prove it to you when we get back to the ranch.
Chip! 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 That kid's liable to do anything.
I'll go get him. Take it easy, kid. I think you and I better go back to the ranch and have a good long talk. Come on. Hello, Miss Summers.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
This is Gabby Whitaker.
How do you do, man?
How do you do?
Oh, Chip. This is your sister.
My what?
Hello, Chip.
I'll have Charlie fix up a room for you.
Thank you. Well, can't we sit down?
Dude, you got a hot sister.
I didn't know I had a sister.
Didn't your father ever tell you about me?
No.
We were separated when you were about 3 years old. I'm awfully glad to see you, Chip. I tried to find you for a long time.
Pop knew where I was.
Well, he probably did, but I haven't seen your father for some time. Chip, I have something here I want you to read. It's from your father. He wrote it just before he died.
Dear Claire, your brother Chip is at the Half a Chance Ranch in Lodestone, Arizona. Get in touch with him and tell him I want you two to divide everything I have left. It will take care of both of you. Goodbye. King Blaine.
What did he mean?
I don't know.
Did he leave anything with you?
No.
Maybe he just imagined it, Chip, before he died.
Maybe. Excuse me.
How did you two get along?
Not too well. I don't think I made a very big hit with him.
Well, you couldn't expect him to open up right away. After all, he's never seen you before.
Yes, I know, but he...
It's been pretty tough not having a mother or father around, or a sister.
I understand. And especially since his whole environment has been against him.
Why don't you change your clothes and go riding with me?
All right. Oh, I certainly enjoyed that ride, Roy.
I knew you would.
You know, I'm beginning to see what you had in mind.
You had sort of a wrong idea about all of us out here, didn't you?
Well,
Don't you think Gabby's done a fine job with those boys?
yes, I do.
Say, you must be getting hungry.
I certainly am after that ride.
Well, Charlie, is lunch about ready?
Coming up, Mr. Rogers. Right away.
Fine.
Roy, do you remember the letter you gave me in the club at Kansas City?
Mm-hmm.
I wish you'd read it.
Okay. Did you show this to Chip?
Yes. He says he doesn't know anything about it.
Well, maybe King Blaine had put away some of that money he stole and wanted you and Chip to have it.
But why would he tell me to get in touch with my brother when Chip doesn't know a thing about it?
I don't know.
You like kittens, don't you, Clarence?
Yes, I'm very fond of them.
We have one in the barn we want to give to you.
Just to show you there's no hard feelings.
Come on. We'll show him to you.
Well, all right.
Oh, siree, there's nothing like a nice little kitten.
No siree. Well, how do you like him?
He's beautiful. You mean you'll really give him to me?
Sure. Only don't tell your grandmother.
You go back to Surrey and we'll put him in a box for you.
Before she misses you.
All right.
Clarence! Oh, Clarence, we got him.
You have?
Here he is.
Thanks very much.
Hope you like him.
And that's my final word, Gabby.
Oh, I heard you.
Grandma! What's the matter, Clarence? Grandma! Clarence, where are you going? What is it? Get those clothes off. Gab!
Chip.
What do you want?
Oh, I just wanted to finish that little talk we were having.
I don't know anything about it.
Well, there's no use you lying, kid. Your father told us all about it before he died. Now, you're going to get your share. You got nothing to worry about.
Look, I told you before, I don't believe you.
Where's that money?
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh! No!
Chip!
Oh!
Chip!
Stop that!
Please!
Leave him alone or I'll...
Stay where you are, Gabby.
I'm taking Chip out of here.
Warning you. Where's that kid? Never mind, let's get out of here.
She's got that fast.
Gabby!
Gabby!
What happened, Chip?
He'll be all right. Just keep him in bed for a few days.
Well, that's fine, Doctor. Is there anything special that I could do?
There's nothing to worry about. Have this filled, and I'll call back again tomorrow.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, hello, Chip.
How is he?
He's coming along fine.
Can I see him?
Well, not right now. Chip, is there anything important?
I just wanted to tell him how sorry I am. If it hadn't been for me, he wouldn't have gotten hurt.
I think he understands.
But I want to tell him I'm sorry. I don't know why he even lets me stay here.
Well, this is your home, Chip. Gabby's very fond of you. We're all fond of you. When he gets better, why don't you tell him what you just told me? I think it'll make him very happy.
I'll tell him. I heard he was going to lose this place to the bank.
Well, where did you hear that?
I just heard it. How much do they want?
A little more than Gabby has right at the moment. About $25,000.
That's a lot of money.
It sure is. But don't you worry about it, Chip. We'll figure out something.
I hope so, gosh.
$1. Nobody's seen $1. Get your head up for $1. Take your hat off, boy. That's $1 bill.
Come in.
Good morning, Miss Finucane.
Good morning, young man. What's on your mind?
The Half a Chance Ranch.
Well, what about it?
I have something here that might interest you. Read it. Right there.
It is unlawful to bring any action for the eviction of minors who have no visible means of support and who, without the assistance of a guardian, will become public charges of the state. Well,
You really can't foreclose.
as a matter of fact, the money has already been paid.
Paid? Who paid it?
Gabby. And I don't understand where he got $25,000 all of a sudden.
When did all this happen?
Someone left the money at my house last night, but I don't know who it was.
Well, that's strange. Gabby didn't say anything about it.
Strange? It's very strange indeed.
Nice going, fellas. You're doing a fine job. Oh, Chip,
Hi, Roy.
can I talk to you a minute?
Well, sure. What's up?
You know, Chip, a funny thing happened last night. That money Gabby owed the bank was paid off.
Well, what do you know?
And
You paid it,
welcome,
didn't you, Chip?
F8.
Yes, sir.
With your father's money?
18, 2005.
That was an awfully nice thing for you to do, Chip, but Gabby won't settle for that kind of money.
Why does he have to know where the money's coming from?
$25,000 is quite a sum. He'd naturally have to know. Besides, it was stolen money. How much more have you got?
About $35,000, I guess.
Where is it? Come on, Chip, where is it?
I hid it under the floor of that stall over there.
Well, I guess it's as safe there as any other place. Now, look, Chip, I've got to do a lot of thinking. Don't say a word about this to Gabby or anybody else.
Well, of course I won't, Roy.
riding on her broom, and a black cat leaps into your room. Then old Mr. Spook walks through the gloom, come to get ya.
When Mr. Spook steps out for his Halloween, it's the spookiest sight you've ever seen. Just a lot of bones with air between. When Mr. Spook steps out, he'll hold a rendezvous with a ghost or two underneath the weeping willow. And perhaps he may try to steal you away, so you better hide your head beneath the pillow. When Mr. Spook steps out, lock your door up tight. It's a dangerous thing to show a light, 'cause you won't be safe until midnight. When Mr. Spook steps out,
When Mr. Spook steps out for his Halloween, it's the spookiest sight you've ever seen.
Helen
And
and
on
Oak Breaker.
poor little girls, he's very keen. When Mr. Spook steps out, when Mr. Spook steps out for the big affair, he will constantly look for ladies there. So don't you return his icy stare. When Mr. Spook steps out,
he'll hold a rendezvous with a ghost or two underneath the weeping willow.
and perhaps he may try to steal you away. So you'd better hide your head beneath the pillow. When Mr. Spook steps out, lock your door up tight. It's a dangerous thing to show a light, 'cause you won't be safe until midnight. When Mr. Spook steps out.
When Mr. Spook steps out for his heavy day, he really comes on strong, he's a solid gate.
Well, bear down, Jack. I just can't wait. Let Mr. Spook step out.
Nonsense.
Oh, you come to the party, did you, Dolly? I was going to send you an invite, but I didn't think you'd come.
We're not here for any party.
I should say not. Gabby Whitaker, you're a bigger fool than I thought.
What have I done now?
That money you paid me.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you know perfectly well. I checked the serial numbers, and it's the money that was stolen right out of my own bank. Of all the nerve.
I didn't pay you no money.
I suppose a little bird dropped the $25,000 on my porch and signed your name.
The woman that was
Somebody's
shot
crazy around here,
yesterday.
and it ain't me.
Do you deny your own signature?
You're darn tootin' I do.
Well, then who put that money there?
Gabby doesn't know anything about this.
How do you know?
In the first place, everybody knows that King Blaine stole the money from the bank. Gabby wouldn't be fool enough to try to pay you with it.
And who did it, Roy?
I did.
Why, you little thief.
That's not true. He was only trying to help Gabby.
The fact remains, it is stolen money.
But Chip didn't steal it. His father simply left the money with him. Get the rest of it, Chip.
Yes, sir.
If you knew about this, why didn't you say something?
I wanted to wait till after the kids had their party. They've been looking forward to it for a long time.
Should have told me, Roy.
I was going to tell you in the morning, Gabby.
Here it is.
Thanks. Chip says it's about $35,000.
All right, everybody, reach!
Help!
Been waiting for this for a long time. Thanks.
That was easy.
Get your horses, boys! Come on!
Corn sugar and a baby.
What's going on here? You can't do this to me. Put that down. Hey! Why won't nobody talk to me? I don't get it. Who's moving in here and when? Don't you worry too much, boys. Dolly Finucane can't do this to me. What's going on here?
You shut up, Gabby. I'll do the talking. Out of the goodness of my heart and a lot of explanation from Mr. Rogers here, I've decided that you should be rewarded for the return of that money.
That's right, Gabby, and we couldn't think of a nicer reward than having your place done over. The only trouble was you got back too soon. We wanted to surprise you.
You mean you ain't gonna throw us out?
No. And I think you and I can tear up the note on that loan, say, Thursday evening at my house.
I'll be there, Dolly. It's worth a sacrifice. Boys, how about 3 cheers for Miss Finucane?
Hooray! 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 Well, thank you.
Roy, seeing how that you're a graduate of this here outfit, suppose you start us off with a little song.
All right, Gabby.
Oh, round and around and around goes the lariat.
If you fellas wanted to show you a peculiar flower, what's peculiar about that? Listen, if you think that's peculiar, get a load of these.
Oh! Got them rats back.
Arizona, riding along a worthy orchid, singing a song of Arizona, and feeling lucky to be there.
that is the Song of Arizona.
All right.
I hope you all enjoyed. Not too long film. Yeah, it was both very short films, but classics altogether. Next week, no, that I don't think that's ever been public domain. I don't think it ever will, and that would be quite hard to get a copy of. Feeling the House of Mouse wants to put that one out of existence. I'm glad you loved them, Lady V. Are you there, deleted scenes?
I am here. All right. We shall consult the scrolls. And of course, by scrolls, I mean IMDb Pro. Now, our second feature, Song of Arizona, I really couldn't find much about it in terms of behind-the-scenes trivia. It was released March 9th, 1946. And that's what's kind of weird about the movie, because it feels like it's a straight-up Western taking place in the 1800s at the beginning, and then you kind of realize, wait, it's actually taking place when the movie was filmed. It's kind of a weird movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just one of many movies that Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, Gabby Hayes did together. And of course, we had the trusty horse Trigger. I did find out a little bit about Tommy Cook, who played Chip. Still with us today.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually, according to IMDb, still has a couple of productions currently upcoming.
Well, that makes sense. He was a child when this was filmed, and my father was born in 45, so and he's in his late 70s, and he's still with us. Oh. You're welcome, Lady Miss. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Always a pleasure to bring you these films. So, we'll have to find out a few more public domain films we can show. Next week, I believe we're going to show you a comedy western starring Mel Gibson in Maverick and Jodie Foster. Yeah. So we'll go back to the regular format where we can't show them on YouTube and have the screening room for you.
A few more tidbits about Tommy Cook before we move on to some Oxbow incident trivia. Let's see. He was discovered at the age of 8 for radio by producer-director Arch Bowler, who became his mentor. Tommy became the top child adolescent radio star of the 1940s and eventually lent his voice to several prominent Hanna-Barbera animated series in the late 60s and early 70s. He created the celebrity Challenge of the Sexes, which was kind of like Battle of the Network Stars, but only they pitted like the men and women against each other. It was the 70s. You could do that. And let's see. And he was also involved in the whole Bobby Riggs, Billie Jean King thing. So, he got into some stuff. However, he almost was not in this movie. At 5 years old, He was in a head-on collision with where the car that he was in was hit by a drunk driver. And the car that he was in, the driver was asleep at the wheel. His mother, grandmother, and sister were injured in the crash, and he actually went through the windshield.
Damn.
And survived. So he was a pretty tough little kid.
Wow.
All right. So all right. And moving on to our earlier film, which was the Oxbow incident. Let me see. The release date was May 21st, 1943, at a estimated budget of $565,000. And was filmed in Chatsworth and Lone Pine, California, and on the 20th Century Fox back lot. All right, moving on to some quick trivia. The Oxbow Incident was the last movie ever nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture without receiving any other nominations. That's right. It was nominated for Best Picture and nothing else. Director William Wellman loved the novel The Oxbow Incident and had wanted to make it into a film, but the rights holders insisted that he cast Mae West in any adaptation, which Wellman thought was ridiculous. Finally, Wellman bought the rights himself and proceeded to make the film his way. Head of 20th Century Fox, Darryl F. Zanuck, overcame his objections to the contentious nature of the film by insisting that it be made cheaply on studio sets. Sarah Allgood was originally cast in the role of Ma Greer, but was replaced by Florence Bates. Florence Bates was then injured in a horseback riding scene, necessitating her replacement by Jane Darwell, who appears in the finished film. All right. The role played by Henry Fonda was originally offered to Gary Cooper, who turned it down. All right. The Western street used in this film is the same one used in The Gunfighter with Gregory Peck. The Screen Guild Theater broadcast a 30-minute radio adaptation of the movie on September 18th, 1944, with William Eidt reprising his film role. One of a select group of films to secure just one Oscar nomination, albeit in the Best Picture category. Counting only official nominations, other members in this club include The Racket, East Lynne, Trader Horn, 5-Star Final, 1 Hour with You, The Smiling Lieutenant, Grand Hotel, Smiling Through, She Done Him Wrong, Here Comes the Navy, The House of Rothschild, Ruggles of Red Gap, Libeled Lady, Grand Illusion, and One Foot in Heaven. Of all of these, only Grand Hotel actually won the Best Picture award. Clint Eastwood selected this film as his favorite when polled by the AFI for its publication Private Screenings. Henry Fonda's commitment to do this film was partially due to his having witnessed at age 14 the lynching of Will Brown in Omaha, Nebraska, September 28th, 1919. The film was a box office flop, outgrossed by one of the studio's Laurel and Hardy comedies released at the same time. And now it's a classic film, so, hey, the people have decided. Henry Fonda was so keen to make the film that he worked for scale. He didn't take his Western clothes off, even sleeping in them to help convey an authentic feel. Let's see, moving up. The Oxbow incident reunited Henry Fonda and Jane Darwell, who played Tom and Ma Jode in The Grapes of Wrath. And Henry Fonda and Anthony Quinn would later co-star in Warlock, which is maybe one we might want to consider doing at some point. I remember that being a pretty good one. All right. Early versions of the script included the self-deletion of Gerald Tetley, and the film was to end with the reappearance of Rose Mappin and her husband in the saloon, rather than with Gil and Art leaving to take the letter to Martin's wife. The contents of Martin's letter are not revealed in the book, but director William A. Wellman thought it was important to make them explicit and had screenwriter Lamar Trotti compose the letter. The Hayes office, the industry censor, was initially reluctant to approve of the script because of its suggestion that the sheriff condoned the lynchings. The treatment of the lynchings and the characterizations of those participating were discussed by the PCA in the studio at great length. And in a June 9th, 1942 letter, the PCA director Joseph Breen advised studio public relations head Jason S. Joy that the script be approved if Major Tetley's self-deletion is retained, thus constituting a punishment for the ringleader of the lynching party. There is an indication that the whole gang will be arrested. The character of Gil is rewritten to make him less callous and more active in trying to stop the lynchings, and Davies' denunciation of the killings is retained. In the novel, Major Tetley self-deletes by falling on his sword after his son self-deletes. In the film, he shoots himself while his son yells at him from outside of his house. So yeah, that's just one of a number of trivia. Again, if I read through all the trivia, it would be a stream in and of itself. So I think I'm going to stop right there. All right.
Oh, you're welcome, Connie. It's always a pleasure to bring you guys these great Westerns. Because in my mind, Westerns are really what got kickstart the motion picture business in a way. So it's a callback, drawback to old and greatness.
Indeed. I'm happy to bring this to you. All right. So, Bill, you got anything coming up?
Not for a couple days, no. Working on things still in the background here. It's taking me time, long, timely process to get out. But I got my usual shows, and if I join other people's panels, I'll be there. So I'll be around.
Right on. Well, later on tonight, we'll be on at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Will be the next episode of my weekly series, Unscripted. It's going to be kind of a part 2 from last week, because while I made some statements on the air that can be easily proven, the Disney shills were less than thrilled with me. So we're going to talk about that this week. It's going to be a bit of a shorter show this week because I am going to be appearing on Geeky Geezers tonight. And I am going to be talking about the Oscar nominations. That's over on Aged Boomers channel at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. And after that, join me back over on my channel for The Other Side of Midnight. I'm going to be sending out the link to a number of fellow YouTubers here. And hopefully they will be free. This is completely voluntary.
Okay.
Completely voluntary.
Okay. Well, if I don't fall asleep or get caught up doing something
You
else.
do not have to come on. It will be completely voluntary. All right. No. All right. Anyway. So yeah. So it's going to be a busy week. I also have live from Sparkwood in 21, where Troy Pacelli, Netters Network, and Aged Boomer will be joining me. I, of course, have my regular weekend update show. That's on. That's every Thursday, usually at around 11:30 or so. And Monday of next week, the 5th of February, Sin's Corner is going to be joining me for Mystery Movie Night at the Regal. And we are going to be reviewing whatever that movie might be. That will be at 10 p.m. And of course, I have a number of irons in the fire, some videos that I have planned that I don't have the links up for just yet, but stay tuned to my community page, and you'll get all the 411.
Excellent. So, well, thank you all for coming, Lady Miss, Connie, Words and Pictures. The one whose name, and many others, those who may be lurking in the background.
Right.
Woke Breaker.
Woke Breaker. FKHC 2005.
Yeah, I have a problem with that name. It's a mouthful.
Sometimes called him, and I would play that clip, but we don't have it. So, and of course, I want to remind everybody to please support Pop Culture Minefield and Vindicated Incorporated.
Yes.
Over at fundmycomic.com. The link has been pinned to the top of my chat, so I hope everyone checks that out.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, this is one of your two hosts, Jedi Bill, reminding you to BX on each other, party on, and we'll see you a little bit later. Back to you, Words.
All right.
Or,
Words and Pictures is now taken over as co-host. No. All right. And I might also be Doomcock. No. Right. I am Deleted Scenes. And I would like to, once again, thank everyone for being here. Join us next week for Maverick from HQ in our second home office in Arizona. Good night. Take care. Stay strong, because this is how we win.
Good night, folks.